Or good evening, Rampart High School. Thank you guys for joining us tonight for our senior parent town hall meeting. I'm Tracy Cormany. I am one of the assistant principals here at Rampart High School. I'm also one of the administrators that oversees the senior events for the class of 2021, and I get to kind of do a double role this evening as I also have a graduating senior. So what we're going to do is we will get started with a PowerPoint. The PowerPoint will have a ton of information for you. It will have dates, it will have times, it will have links, all of the information that you will need by the time this information meeting is over. And then we will make this whole meeting live, and then we will also publicize the PowerPoint and any of the questions so that you can access the links from the PowerPoint slides that we have provided for you at a later date, so you don't have to do it all tonight and you don't feel any kind of pressure with that. So we have a question area where you can pose questions, and I have some people that are around that are helping me. They'll read the questions and chime in since I won't be able to see them, and we'll be able to answer those for you as we go along. But just know that we will get to all of your questions, definitely. It just may not be till the end. So let me share my screen with you. The PowerPoint presentation for the Rampart High School class of 2021. This is our end of year parent student information. I appreciate you all being here. I thought I did. Hold on one second. Apparently this is not live.
Just hit the slideshow from beginning.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Got it. Sorry about that. So this is the, like I said before, the Rampart High School class of 2021 end of year parent student information meeting. Is it going to advance on its own or? Okay. So some things for you to remind your senior to do: attend their classes, complete their homework, prepare for their final exams, which is actually not happening. We will not have final exams this year. And then good luck on the AP and IB exams for those of you that will be sitting for those in the month of May. Make sure that you have the option to participate in your senior events. Remind your students that this is their time to celebrate and to be a part of these things, and we'll go over all of those events here in the next half hour. Upcoming events. So unfortunately, you probably have received an email earlier this evening regarding why our first event has been canceled. As you know, we have transitioned into virtual learning for the rest of this week, Thursday and Friday. So all of our students will be accessing their education virtually via MS Teams for the next 2 days, with the hopes that we're able to kind of move through some quarantine issues that we've had over the last couple of days. So the graduation announcement distribution that Jocelyn's was scheduled to do tomorrow has been canceled. We will reschedule that and get that information out. We're hoping to get that out next week, and hoping that Jocelyn's can come to the building on Monday or Friday, but we will get all the information out to you as soon as we can. All of the other events are listed here. Some of them are seniors only, some of them are the entire school. You can kind of look through all of these things. I'm not going to read them all to you, but there are several opportunities for your child to participate in a senior event to kind of wrap up this crazy last 15 months that they've had for their high school experience. As we go through these slides, we'll talk about each one specifically, and I'll let you know which ones we need students to RSVP for so that we are able to get a number and understand how we're going to be able to group kids so that we can be successful. Like we said, this event was canceled for tomorrow. We will reschedule that, but this is when anything that you have ordered in regards to announcements will be picked up from Jostens. So we will get that information out to you as early as later this week or early next week. Senior picture and Jostens distribution. So Wednesday, April 21st will be our first major event, if you will, for seniors. The time will be from 11 to 3. It'll happen in the gym. We're going to have kids broken up by their last names just to kind of allow a little bit of spacing to happen. We're unable to do a full senior class picture this year, so we are asking that each kid show up to their designated time in their senior t-shirt. And at this time, we will get a headshot taken of them, and we're going to create a collage senior picture. It's the best we can do during this time, unfortunately. And then also during this time, Jostens will be there and able to hand out cap and gowns, remaining graduation announcements that they're unable to distribute sometime next week, hopefully, and then any additional graduation items that you have ordered. Torch Assembly is Friday, April 23rd. This is an annual event that happens every year at Rampart High School where the senior class passes the torch to the junior class. This year will be a little bit different, obviously. Only seniors will be in the gym. We plan to spread them out throughout. We'll have chairs that'll be on the floor. We will have the bleachers out, and then we will have 2 areas for overload if we have extra kids that come. So it'll be a little bit different. The rest of the classes, the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors will be accessing this event via our KRAM live stream, so they will be able to participate, just not be physically in the assembly with us. So this is an RSVP event. So when we talk about that, you'll see at the bottom of these slides the RSVP form that you'll need to go to, just so we can have an idea of how many kids are coming and what we can plan for in regards to seating and social distancing. So again, that will be Friday, April 23rd, between first and second period. Senior prom is Saturday, May 1st. So you may have seen some correspondence that's already gone out from the district. The original request was that all District 20 proms would be held on the same night, which was Saturday, May 8th. All the other schools are going to adhere to this date because they have a stadium that they can access and that has lights, so that they can just use their building, and their senior body can go out and participate in this prom event in their stadiums on the date of May 8th. We, however, were able to secure Security Service Field, the old Sky Sox Stadium, for Saturday, May 1st. So the district allowed us to have a different date than the rest of District 20. But all the other things will stay the same in regards to the time, that it's a Rampart senior only event. So no guests may come from other schools, and no other grade levels, freshmen, sophomores, or juniors from Rampart are able to attend this event. IDs are required for entry, and there will be a form that goes out that kind of gives you more information around what that looks like. This is also an RSVP, as we will have to group kids in right now the 175 person groups that has been okayed by the El Paso County Health Department. So RSVPs are important for this particular date, and the due date for that will be Friday, April 23rd. Senior Celebration Day, the district has decided that each high school will have one day in which they are going to kind of combine a lot of their senior only events. Our day will be Wednesday, May 12th. And we're going to have several events on this day, of which the RSVP is required, as you can see at the bottom, for each of these individual events. So the senior walk will be 11 to 2:30. This will be, unfortunately, not at Cottonwood Creek Park like we normally do. Instead, it will be on the grass fields on Rampart's property, so it won't be much of a walk, if you will. The RSVP is important for this because we will have to separate, again, our student body into groups of 175. So we will be able to hand kids out a different colored band based on what group they're in upon arrival. But it would just be nice for us to have an idea of the number of kids that we will be looking at, so we can see how many groups we need. Plus, we need to order Jimmy John's and snacks and water for this day to be a success. Normally on this day, the kids do bring beach volleyball nets, they bring cornhole, they bring a variety of different outside activities and games that they participate in. So those will still be able to happen. They'll just be on our property. It's a $10 fee for this particular event, just so it covers the cost of the lunch and the snacks and the waters. And then in addition, we will have a Kona ice truck present. And so that will be not included in the $10 fee, but students will be able to purchase Kona ice as they wish on that day, and it will be on our property. After the senior walk, and it's not in this slide because we just moved it to that, will be the traditional senior versus faculty basketball game. That's going to be from 2:45 to 3:45. It'll be in the gym, and we will adhere to what the state mandate is and the county mandate is in regards to the number of kids that can watch that particular event based on what the outline is at that time. And then it gives us enough time for the people participating in that event to go home and shower and return back to the school for the senior barbecue, which will be 5 to 7. This will be in our parking lot. Normally, this is the senior luncheon that we have at the Antlers Hotel that grandparents and parents, it's a formal event, but we're unable to do it this year. So we wanted to be able to honor the kids in some way. So we will just do the barbecue for seniors only. No families will be able to attend, and an RSVP will be required for this particular event also. Immediately following the senior barbecue on this evening, we will have Mr. and Mrs. Rampart. That's a student council sponsored event. So that's kind of a separate event that will be communicated through student council, but that will be held on the back patio off of our commons between the building and the softball field. And so people will be able to be outside. It gives us a little bit more leeway in regards to the number of kids that can attend. So look for information around the Mr. and Mrs. Rampart from student council in the upcoming weeks. Graduation announcements and cap and gown ordering. If you have not done so, we have listed the Jostens contact and number on this slide. If you have not ordered your cap and gown, you need to do that immediately. So that is a conversation that needs to happen quickly, and the order needs to be done probably within the next 4 to 5 days. Senior awards ceremony is May 24th. This is the evening before our graduation, and this is an invite only award ceremony. So your senior will be receiving an invitation if they are receiving an award or being recognized during this particular event. So all seniors need to go in on the senior awards survey that's online, and the link is on this particular slide, and fill out the senior awards document so we know who we need to invite and to honor and recognize on this evening. We traditionally do this the night before graduation, just so if family is in town for graduation, they're able to attend this particular event also. We will let you know what the size requirements are and restrictions are around this as soon as we get them. So we'll be doing an RSVP for this particular event once the invitations have gone out. Senior checkout. This is going to be kind of a fluid situation that we're going to have because we're not sure what day we're going to do this on yet, but all seniors are required regardless to complete an in-person checkout prior to their graduation. So the following steps are listed on this particular slide, so you can go through this. And like I said, we're going to make this public so you can print it out. You can go through it at your leisure. Get to the areas where you need a little more time to go over it with your senior. But the graduation survey and Naviance will be something that's required. It's an About Me tab that they need to complete. The ICAP for 12th grade post-secondary goals must be completed in Naviance. All outstanding fees with bookkeeping must be completed, and then returning all books and laptops to the library staff. So like I said, the date for this, if we do it on one day, is to be determined. It may be something where it's something that you can do over a couple of days throughout the time, but we will communicate when the due date is for that. But we just wanted you to get in so that you could access the Naviance About Me tab and the graduation survey and the ICAP post-secondary goals at your earliest convenience. In addition to the senior checkout on that original slide, if you have financial obligations, those need to be cleared as soon as possible because you cannot begin the senior checkout until those obligations are finished. So you can either go to the bookkeeping office in the main office with cash, check, or a credit card, or you can use the payforit.net website that allows you to do so also. Any other school fees that need to be paid must be done at school or online. And if your student has ordered a yearbook, you won't be able to pick that up until all fees are paid either. So if you have questions about the financial obligations that your senior may or may not have, Vicki Bailey will be your contact for that. That's her office number and her email that we've included on this slide. Textbooks and laptops will be returned to the library. If you need a textbook, not for exams obviously, but make sure that you just bring that in on your last day, which is the 21st, is the last day for all students in District 20. Final transcripts must be ordered via Naviance, and this must be done prior to May 21st. So there's 3 different types of transcript that your senior will want to access: non-common app, Common App, and a hard copy. So make sure in these next 2 slides that you pay attention to the directions and the instructions that are outlined in regards to final transcripts requests, because Naviance is a little different. Your kids may or may not have accessed it as much as needed in order for them to feel competent and feel pretty comfortable in being able to access the information as needed. Please know that, like we said, they must be submitted through Naviance, and that if they're incomplete, we cannot process those. So that's the information for Naviance. Any of your transcripts that will be ordered after May 21st must be ordered from the district website, and that website is included here for you on this particular slide. This page has all of the information regarding the requesting of final transcripts, what they must do. The student must first update the application submission type to accepted. Once that has happened, then they have to request a final transcript in Naviance through Family Connection, and it gives you the 4 or 5 different steps that they have to go through about how they go about doing that. And in order to request the final transcript, there must be an initial transcript request for the college. So all of that information is on there for you. The senior counselor is an excellent resource for that, and anybody in the counseling office will be able to help you with in regards to Naviance questions that you may have if you're having trouble understanding the particular instructions that are here or the directions that we have in these 3 slides. The hard copy transcript request is a little bit different. Again, there's 2 different dates. So prior to May 21st, if you need a hard copy mailed or that you can pick up, you will also go to Naviance and place that order, and it gives you all the steps of what that looks like. If it's after May 21st and you need a hard copy, either that you will pick up or that will be mailed to you, you have to order those as a former student from the Rampart website. And so all of those directions and instructions are there for you. Please note that there is a $10 fee for 3 official copies and 1 unofficial. So if you are waiting until the last day, which is May 21st, then the fee will be something that you'll want to be aware of. Again, we have listed at the bottom of this particular slide, Ms. Lucero and Ms. Cooper. We have their phone numbers and their email addresses that you can contact. They are absolutely the gurus in regards to the use of Naviance and how to do these type of requests. The Senior Code of Conduct Agreement for the class of 2021. All seniors and parents or legal guardians are required to complete the online Senior Code of Conduct Agreement for students to participate in graduation. So this is accessed online through the senior website and on the Rampart homepage. And these 4 directions here let you know how to get to that particular page and then how to get to the Code of Conduct. This Code of Conduct must be signed by both the student and the parent electronically. We will be monitoring this. These must be completed by Friday, April 30th. And if it is not completed, then there are many events and many opportunities at the end of the year that your child will not be able to attend. And that will begin with the senior prom on May 1st. So put a note to yourself that the Code of Conduct needs to be completed as soon as possible, and the signatures must be from both you and your student. All right, graduation speeches. So every year we have a speaker at large that we have present during our official graduation ceremony. If your student is interested in interviewing for that or auditioning for that, then they can set up a time with Miss Whitaker, that is the principal's admin assistant that sits in the main office right outside of Mr. Alvarez's office. And you can set up a time with her and she will get you on our schedule. The auditions will be held on April 20th, so that is right around the corner. So if your child is interested in auditioning for the speaker at large for the actual graduation ceremony, make sure that you get with Ms. Whitaker to set up that audition time. Graduation day. So our graduation for Rampart High School class of 2021 is Tuesday, May 25th at noon. We will be conducting this ceremony at Hatchell Field, which is at District 20 Stadium on the Liberty campus. We will ask that graduates are there by 11 o'clock to line up. We will send out a bunch of information around graduation, I promise, because a lot of information we have has not been completely approved yet, and we're kind of waiting till the last minute so that we can get as many variances as possible. So a lot of information will come to you, but the general information is on this particular slide. The time that they need to be there, that we will give them designated gates that they need to go through. Seating for the graduates will be mostly in alphabetical order. graduates are expected to be in appropriate attire, and that the issued academic regalia is the only thing that's allowed. So we're asking that additional things such as things around your neck, flower beads, ribbons, signs, stuff like that, that you refrain from allowing your seniors to add that to their graduation attire. Nothing is to be written on or attached to the caps. And then we will obviously address graduates during the ceremony as needed. I believe that we will mimic what happened last year in regards to having graduates sit on the field and allowing 2 household members to sit next to them. We are also looking at opening up the seating in the district stadium so that we are able to have a couple extra people to accompany the graduate, but we don't know what that looks like yet, so I don't want to give any false hopes. Just know that we are absolutely doing our best to see that we can have the greatest number of people attend with your graduates on that special day. So graduation information, it just kind of gives you a little bit of additional background that will give you information of where you have to enter which gate specifically, that it's a student-focused graduation. So there'll be a variety of student speakers. It usually lasts between 1.5 and 2 hours. You know, we ask that you don't bring noisemakers and that kind of stuff, just out of respect for other families and for the particular ceremony. And so we just ask that the commencement exercise is considered a serious academic ceremony for students and their families. So an interesting element for this year is the quarantine part. Students that are in quarantine will not be allowed to attend this graduation ceremony. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to note that students who are graduated are not able to attend school or any events for 10 days. Our graduation date is May 25th. So maybe a little math and maybe not allowing or encouraging your student to access their last week or so of education virtually might be in your best interest. It's really your family's decision what that looks like, and we will not be dictating how students access their educational platform. But what we will dictate is that students that are in quarantine will not be allowed to attend the graduation ceremony. Graduation photos this year will be done by Inspirations in Photography. A photo gallery will be available within 7 days of the ceremony. And on this particular slide, you have the website and then how to access the photos from that day. Graduation notes. So we are just hoping that you know, the ceremony is a ceremony of dignity and respect, and that these students understand that it's a right to participate in these particular privileges. So remember that this is the final event that your students will ever participate in as a member of Rampart High School and as the class of 20 and 21. So we hope that behavior and any issues around that is considered before entering that last event. All right, events are a privilege again. Students who demonstrate inappropriate behavior risk missing senior events. All of that's outlined in the code of conduct form, so make sure you read over that before you sign it and have your senior sign that. So a couple reasons of how your student would not be able to participate in the graduation ceremony. If your student has not earned enough credits in all of the correct areas to graduate, they will not be allowed to walk. There was a time when there was some leniency and some gray area around that a couple years ago was removed. So all of the graduation requirements must be met in order for your student to be able to participate in the graduation ceremony. If your student has failed to properly check out and hasn't paid all of their fines, they also won't be able to participate in the ceremony. Or if your child was suspended or involved in any type of senior prank or anything, then those are all outlined in the student conduct form. Those will be addressed obviously on an individual basis as well. Food for thought. We have about 6 weeks left of school, so remind your students that now is not the time to take a break. We want them to finish strong. Most colleges require end-of-year transcripts and behavior reports to be sent to them at the end of the school year. We have absolutely seen acceptances denied or rescinded based on behavior and or academic performance at the end of a senior year, so have your seniors keep that in mind. And then employers also request transcripts and or recommendations based on attendance and academic performance. So something for your seniors to also consider if moving on to a collegiate forum is not what their next step is. No senior skip days are recognized at Rampart. Senior pranks are not recognized at Rampart, so make sure that those are things that you consider before engaging in those events. And then do participate in these activities. Enjoy these last couple weeks that we have. We are not preparing for final exams, so we don't have to worry about that. Make good decisions, be safe, be kind, and then value your graduation as this is your time. The graduation coordinators, if you have any questions and we don't answer them tonight on this particular forum, it is myself, and my email is included on here. Andrea Lucero, our college and career counselor, her email is included. And then Leslie Cooper, who is our college and career admin assistant, is also included on here for questions. Good luck to the graduates of 2021, and we are going to open up now for some questions that you may have that might be pertinent for the entire group. If you do not feel that your question is something that you would like addressed on this platform and in front of all of the viewers, then you can absolutely email me separately, or Ms. Lucero or Ms. Cooper if that is what you wish. All right. Open for questions. I'm going to have some helpers help me read because I can't see what is in the question area.
Ms. Cormany, there is a question or several questions about graduation and the maximum number of guests that can come. If a household has 2 graduates, are they allowed 2 graduates per student, or 2 guests per student, or is it just 2 guests per household?
So right now, it would be the way we did it last year was that if you had a set of twins or 2 kids that were graduating this year, then each graduate would have 2 people sitting next to them. And so right now that would be a total of 4, obviously. If we are able to expand that, and let's say that the total number of guests that each graduate can bring is 3, then if you had 2 kids participating in the graduation, then your total number would be 6.
Thank you. There's one other question in the chat about prom. If there's a quarantine as a result of prom, what happens with the AP tests that are the following week?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So in the prom document that you will have to sign, and in all the documents that you will have to sign before attending any of these senior events, it clearly denotes that if an outbreak happens or if there is a quarantine as a result of one of these activities, then the quarantine is in effect for those 10 days. So the AP testing, I believe we're trying to do most of those in building, and so that would be a conversation I would have prior with Ms. Graham, the AP coordinator, in regards to if you are quarantined, are you able to shift to an online forum in order to take that AP exam? Any other questions? There's a lot of questions. Okay.
Next question, if a senior is 2 weeks past their 2nd vaccine, are they still required to follow the quarantine protocols?
So each of those, so all of the quarantine questions are not questions that I'm going to be able to answer. All of those have to go to the district COVID team and or our school nurse. So I would start with our school nurse. As I am not privy to, they have a specific administrator, one administrator, and a COVID team that deals with every single COVID event and or quarantine and or outbreak, so that it's all consistent and all of those decisions are made on a consistent basis by the same governing body. So if there are a lot of questions about that, I will not have answers to that tonight.
And for our community, we'll go ahead and we'll put our school nurse's contact information on the PowerPoint slide, and you can reach out to her directly with questions regarding those specific items. I'm just scrolling through to see if there's any additional questions that have come in. There's a question again about graduation, Ms. Cormany. Is there an alternate plan for graduation if the weather is bad?
We are absolutely having that discussion, but there has not been one that has made public yet.
Thank you. Again, about graduation, is there any kind of timeline to know or when the announcement about the number of guests that will be allowed, when that will be made, especially for families that have people that need to travel in?
Right. So we have a graduation meeting we've had one about every 3 weeks. They've moved to about every 10 days. So I do not have a deadline of when they're going to make that decision. I mean, obviously they are wanting to wait as long as they can so that they can get the greatest variance for that particular event. But trust me when I tell you that as soon as the district makes that decision, that will be a major information blast, because every single senior parent and family is waiting that information.
We have another question about will the graduation ceremony be live streamed?
It will be live streamed, yes, that is correct.
Thank you. A few more questions coming in. So there's a question about what will be the process for distributing graduation announcements with the school closing for the rest of the week. And I can say that we're working with our Jostens rep to reschedule that. And so as soon as we have a rescheduled date for distribution of those items, we will communicate that out to you all, since we can't hold tomorrow's event as scheduled. Ms. Cormany, again, I'm sorry, question about prom. About how kids will be grouped. Will they be grouped for the prom event alphabetically or by order of arrival?
So our plan is to do it by order of arrival. So let's say that we have 250 kids that show up. So right now our groups are 175. So what we will do is, as kids come in, we will have 175 blue wristbands. And so if we're at 170 and there's a group of 12, we're going to ask them to wait and go into the yellow group so that they can stay with their group, to try to keep them together, since we're assuming that that's kind of the group that they roll with anyways. So we don't want to do it alphabetical. We don't want to do it, so you're not with your people. So it's already limited enough how it is. So what we will do is, based on the RSVP of how many kids are going to come, we will just separate it as they enter in. It's real possible that we only have one group, that we only have 175 kids that choose to attend that particular event. Some of the other schools have already put out some feelers about what that looks like, and their numbers are relatively low, unfortunately.
Thank you. And a question just came in similar about the senior celebration day, about how kids will be grouped. And again, on that May 12th day, we will group them upon arrival and keep them with their friends as they arrive. We're just going to use colored wristbands to determine the numbers in each of those groups, but we'll hand out the wristbands as they arrive together with their friends.
Yep, that's correct. And we're prepared to do up to 3 groups for that. We just don't know what the interest level will be for that. So we are prepared, like I said, to have 3 separate groups, a blue, a gold, and a white group, so that kids can be with their groups of people. And then the food will just be set up where they just cannot intermingle. Their access to Kona Ice and their access to restrooms and that kind of stuff will be done based on the color wristband that they're wearing.
Ms. Cormany, there's a question about graduation. Will graduates be handed their diplomas individually or just stand as announced?
We are pushing for a partial walk across, but not across the stage. We are pushing that there's they'll stand up and then they'll process forward and then they might walk across the front of the stage, so that the only people that they really interact with are the readers. And then there's still some conversation about whether a diploma will actually be handed to them at that time, or if we're just going to actually do a walk scenario, if you will. So again, we're waiting to see what variances are approved for that particular ceremony, but people are wanting to move more towards a traditional event, even more so than we were able to do last year when they were only able to stand.
Thank you. A question coming in about the senior website that's been mentioned. We're going to show where that is to our group here shortly. Mrs. McFarland is going to demonstrate how to find that off of the Rampart website, so we'll be showing that shortly. And yeah. Again, another question coming in about prom, why other districts are having different requirements about their prom, being able to have two guests at prom, but D20 cannot, and
yeah,
we can't speak to other districts' policy on that.
Yeah, I don't have any idea what the other districts are doing. I just know what our outline has been created for District 20.
A question about, will students be required to wear a mask at all events, including prom?
Yes, but at prom, the 6 foot distance thing will not be enforced. They'll be in their group of 175, but can you imagine trying to keep those kids 6 feet apart? Yes, no, so we've had that conversation. The masks will be a thing. I know we're talking about that as well, but I feel like the masks will be something that still stays in play. But the groups of 175 at prom, at the senior walk, that kind of stuff, they'll be able to commingle in their groups.
Thank you. There's a question, and maybe you can speak to the option for students to be synchronous in that 10 days prior to graduation in order to keep themselves safe from a quarantine. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
What I would do is I would just have my child access, like that their teachers know. So 10 days out for the math is Friday the 14th. So that last week of the 17th, I would just have them let their teachers know that they're going to be accessing those last days virtually.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a couple more coming and a couple more questions coming in. So another question about masks, but again, mask will, wearing the mask during graduation ceremony right now will be required. And again, there's a question about finals, and so we're not having a finals, we will not be having finals this semester for students. So that end of the semester will just be a regular week, that week up leading till the May 21st.
Right, and there's some conversations about being able to remove the mask once kids are seated, because the people that will be sitting next to them will probably be household members. And it'll be noon in the middle of May on a turf field. Could be a little hot.
Right. A question about when final transcripts will be ready and processed and be sent out. Again, we're hoping to have that as quickly as possibly done after the end of the semester. So as soon as graduation is over and we get all of those process requests out, we're going to have that process completed early June. And I'm just looking to see if there's any additional questions coming in. Right now, I'm not seeing any. Oh, I'm sorry. So another question again about a quarantine. If prom results in a quarantine, can the student still go to senior events?
Not for the next 10 days.
There's a couple of questions that have come forward about the ICAP task. ICAP is the individual career and academic plan that's, there are assigned tasks in the student's Naviance account in order to complete, or we're asking students to complete. They are things regarding goal setting and post-secondary planning. We're asking that students do that, and so that is part of the process for checking out a school. If a student has concerns or questions about ICAP, please have them reach out to Ms. Lucero, that's me, in the counseling office, and we can discuss that further. But again, it's good information for students to think through as they're wrapping up their high school careers. It's just a very simple task, will take less than 5 minutes, and some good thoughts and processes as a result of those activities. So again, if you have any other questions about ICAP, please reach out to the counseling office.
And that's a district requirement. The ICAP is something that your students have been doing at least for the 4 years that they've been at Rampart, if not even earlier in their middle school years.
Ms. Cormany, a question about yearbooks. When do yearbooks come out, and is there a yearbook signing day?
So the yearbook announcement is that they are to arrive on Friday, May 21st, which is not ideal. So we are talking about what that might look like. That's still up in conversation, just because the yearbook signing event is a pretty cohesive and lots of kids running around kind of deal. So we're trying to figure out what that's going to look like, and we're also wanting to make sure we get a guarantee that those books are actually arriving on that day. So my hope is, I know that there's some other schools in the district that their arrival day is late June. So we will be happy for our May 21st date, and as soon as we get that confirmation, we will put out information around what that looks like in regards to if kids are just able to pick them up and then kind of do their own thing, because then school's over, so they can go somewhere else and kind of do their own agenda, or if we'll have something that we have created for them.
Thank you. A question, this may be an RPO or STUCO question, but will there be yard signs this year for the graduates? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, we'll have yard signs.
Yeah, during that senior picture and Jostens Day, which the date is escaping me.
April 21st.
Thank you, April 21st. Yes, the senior yard signs will be picked up on that date.
And along with Rampart face masks. Each graduate senior will be getting a yard sign and a face mask on the 21st. Okay, Ms. Cormany, I'm not seeing any other questions come in at this time.
Okay, so what we will do is I'm going to let Ms. McFarland kind of take over the driver's seat and walk you through how to access the senior page, so that you can kind of see that in action. And then we will get this posted on, is it going to be on the website? On the senior website, so that you can get to it, you can print it out, like you can do whatever you need to do with it, so that you can access the different elements and details, and that you can have the links that you can reach into so that you can RSVP to things, whatever you may need for your senior for these last couple of weeks. So thank you all. I appreciate your time tonight and look forward to these last 6 weeks. And then I will send it over to Ms. McFarland.
All right. Hello, everybody. Do you want to turn on your speaker? To find the senior website, you're going to go to rampart.asd20.org, and you just scroll down just a little bit, and you'll find this Rampart senior site under useful links. And you'll just click Rampart Ramps, and it will take you to the senior site. Okay, this site has a whole lot of different information on it, and it changes as information changes. Right now, the home page has our calendar. It has links to yearbook and Jostens and college and career and Naviance, so you can get to all of those things. You can go to your transcript request page, and this is going to give you information on how to request those transcripts. So Ms. Cormany talked about this a little bit already, and here's that information for you again in case you need it. Okay, then there is the senior awards page. This is where you're going to fill out the survey and tell us about those senior awards that your seniors are getting. Tell us about all of them, okay? And it does give you lots of options, and this is where you can go. You don't have to be invited to do this. You just need to go to this site and tell us what your senior is being offered. Okay, there is another page I'm going to go to really quick next, the college visits, and then I'll pop back over to that graduation info and code of conduct. College visits, you're going to have to go in advance and sign up in Naviance, but there's not so much going on anymore. I think if Miss Cooper wanted to talk to that, she could, but we're a little bit on the slow side for that at this time of the year. All right, and then graduation info and code of conduct. This is where you could have joined our town hall today. In this spot after our meeting, probably tomorrow actually, we will have a recording of this meeting. So you'll be able to go back and watch it right here. Instead of join the town hall, you're going to watch the town hall if you missed it. Okay, or if you didn't miss it, you can watch it again. Some information on who you can contact if you have any questions about seniors and graduation and all of these things, and then your code of conduct is right below that. The code of conduct signature forms must be completed no later than Friday, April 30th, and there are two separate forms. The form on the left is for students. You can tell that because it says student and it's yellow. Currently, it is not accepting responses. We will open that up when this meeting ends. And the one on the right says parent code of conduct signature form, and that is for the parents to sign. Students will have to sign in to their school Google account in order to put their signature in this code of conduct signature form. We will also put the slideshow from tonight's presentation on this page with the recording. Okay. There will be some other things once we have more information and maybe videos or whatever we're doing for Torch and all the other things we're planning, pictures, celebrations. We will have a page for all of that on the senior site as well. So once again, to find that, you're going to go to rampart.asd20.org, scroll down just a little bit and click this Rampart Senior Site icon right there on your right. Okay. And if you have some questions about that, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. I will need to get back there to see what they are.
Thank you, Mrs. McFarland.
Okay. I'm not seeing any questions about that. If you don't have any more questions, I think we can get to wrapping it up. Ms. Cormany, can I send it back over onto you?
All right, are there any last minute questions that we might have before we sign off for tonight? So I think something, yeah.
I don't see any other questions coming through.
Okay, is that new one not ours? Nope. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time tonight, and we look forward to the last couple weeks and seeing everybody in the stadium on Tuesday the 25th at noon. Pray for great weather. Bye, y'all.